Let me read to you a passage from the second chapter of St. Matthew's Gospel, verses 13 to 15 and then 19 to 23. It's the Gospel for Holy Family Sunday, the Feast of the Holy Family, which is the Sunday within the octave of Christmas, in year A. St. Matthew writes, "After the Magi had departed, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph, saying, 'Arise, and take the child and his mother, and fly to Egypt, and remain there until I tell you. Herod will seek the child to destroy him.' Joseph arose and took the child and his mother by night, and retired into Egypt. He was there until the death of Herod, in order that it might be fulfilled what the Lord said by the prophet, 'Out of Egypt have I called my son.' When Herod died, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, 'Arise and take the child and his mother, and go to the land of Israel. Those who sought the life of the child are dead.' Joseph arose and took the child and his mother, and came into the land of Israel. But hearing that Archelaus reigned in Judea in place of Herod his father, he was afraid to go there. Being warned in a dream, he retired to Galilee. There he dwelt in a town called Nazareth, that it might be fulfilled which was said by the prophets, 'He shall be called a Nazarene.'" That's from Matthew chapter 2, verses 13 to 15 and 19 to 23. For the Feast of the Holy Family, which is the Sunday within the octave of Christmas, year A. It speaks to us of the Holy Family. What do I mean? Well, one of the features of our age that has come into general view is the sad state of married life. There is a tremendous instability within very many marriages, and divorce rates have been high for years. This has a variety of causes, and many who suffer the trauma of a breakdown of marriage can in no way be blamed. In fact, for some, a civil divorce is the only practicable course for them to take. Their spouse may have been incapable of making a true decision in the first place, or may have lacked other essential qualities for entering the married state. The result is a trail of tears. I remember seeing a program on television featuring a young woman who showed some beautiful moral qualities. She had had a hard upbringing because of the behavior of her father. As a result, she said on the program that she intended never to marry. What she had seen in her own family destroyed her confidence in marriage as a path to happiness. The beauty and the possibilities of God's plan for marriage have been obscured for many people, due in considerable measure to the gradual transformation of culture. The culture of the West, so influential in the modern age, has become secular. Religion, and specifically the Christian religion, has been relegated to the margins of mere personal opinion. Its norms are not taken to be objective. This assumption seeps into the springs of individual life, and it also has an effect on public law and morality. Accordingly, there are attacks in society and in the media on marriage as a sacrosanct natural institution, let alone as a divine institution sanctioned by revelation. Forces press for the recognition as marriages of unions between persons that are profoundly sinful in the sight of God. In particular, the obfuscation of the idea of freedom sways national legislatures into passing laws that in fact encourage the breakdown of marriage and family life. Somehow there has to be the recapturing of a different model of man, and in particular of the human family. That model is found in the person of Jesus Christ and in the family of which he was part. There was a family in history that in the plan of divine providence is the model and inspiration for all families for all time. It is the family of Jesus, Mary and Joseph. It was a humble, obscure and seemingly very ordinary family, so like the vast majority of families throughout history. It was part of a tiny backwater village in the obscurity of an outpost of the Roman Empire. Its life and activities were made up of what most people would call the ordinary things of every day. Everyone can relate to that family. Everyone can say that family was in many respects like mine. So what it suggests I can take to heart. I can learn from it and profit by contemplating it continuously and deeply. Now, there is a simple key to the understanding of the inner life of this family of Nazareth. It is holiness. That's the key. The holiness of this seemingly ordinary family was incomparable, incalculable, and barely imaginable in its height, extent, and depth. This family teaches us the true source of grandeur, and that every family is meant by God to be the home and the school of holiness. In holiness, the family of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph was perfect. It is an enthralling and fascinating thought that in the midst of this family was a man who is the all-holy God. He, the incarnate God, God become man, subjected himself in loving obedience to his utterly sinless mother, sinless from conception to the end of life. He subjected himself also to his foster father, Joseph, the spouse of Mary, his mother, the mother of Jesus. How holy Joseph was. His intimacy with Jesus was constant, protracted, and after Mary, his spouse, it was unique. If our ambitions for family life are largely in the direction of financial and social success, or some other goal connected with material happiness, the Holy Family will not seem to offer much. Indeed, it will not seem of relevance at all. But if our ambitions are those of God himself, namely moral and spiritual perfection, the perfection in our hearts and lives of the love of God and neighbour, then the Holy Family will be appreciated as an extraordinary phenomenon in history. In the sight of God and of all heaven, the Holy Family shines out with immense brilliance because of its moral and spiritual life, its holiness and its love. Yet all this was beneath a simple, humble and obscure appearance in an obscure and morally very imperfect village community. Gazing on the Holy Family in our prayer, let us ask ourselves, what is it that is truly important for my family? The important thing for my family is union with God, attained by living in union with Jesus, Mary and Joseph. So then, let us resolve to, as families, to live in their presence day by day, in the presence of Jesus, Mary and Joseph. The Christian family that lives in the presence of that Holy Family will pray for a share in its holiness. It is to holiness that all of Christ's faithful and every Christian family are called. This holiness was lived perfectly by the Holy Family, and the Holy Family gives this holiness to the family that tries to live in imitation of it. The desire to love God and one another is a great grace from God, but in so many families there is little of that desire. Well, let us have the ambition this coming year of modelling our family on the Holy Family, not just as a pious thought, but as something we live out in daily action.